What is Courtney Stars of Tomorrow? Well, Courtney Stars of Tomorrow is a nonprofit performing arts organization that I started in June of 2014. And it is an organization that seeks to promote and present classical musicians who are really extraordinarily talented. And we offer these exceptionally talented musicians the opportunities to perform in concert, recital, and opera. And the funny thing about Courtney Stars of Tomorrow is not only the name, but also I started the organization really out of having read, I think it was in Classical Singer magazine, an interview with a very famous opera singer, very prominent singer who was really carrying on a while about the fact that there were, not great artists as there were in this particular singer's generation, and specifically singers. And I thought, well, that's not really the case, because every other weekend I stand in front of at least 15 who are really amazing artists and musicians. And I kept that in the back of my mind, and a couple of weeks later I was preparing the music for worship service at the Ephesus Seventh-day Adventist Church, where I happened to be one of the staff conductors. And we were going to sing the anthem, Ho Everyone That Thirsteth. And I had asked Issachar Savage, the great tenor, I mean, he's absolutely amazing, to come and sing the solo to the piece. And I mean, he absolutely folded it up, as Leontine Price would say. I mean, he was wonderful. And after we sang, I asked him if he would meet me out in the choir room, because I wanted to, ask him a question. And when we went outside, I said, I want to do a concert with you and a couple of other artists. Would you be interested? And I gave him what would be the angle for the concert. That basically what we were trying to do was to not only give these which would be five singers, a performance, opportunity, but that it would also be a chance for conductors and agents and managers and so forth to come and hear these singers under circumstances, first of all, that they might not have heard them under, and second of all, in a situation that was very practical, meaning that they would be performing in a theater with an orchestra. And I told him who I wanted to put on the program. It was to be, there were five of them, so it was Issachar Savage, Janina Burnett, Camille Humes, Julia Rollwing, and Sarah Greason were the original five that I had chosen. And no, that's not correct. No. It was Issachar Savage, Janina Burnett, Sarah Greason, Nathaniel Thompson, and Camille Humes. Those were the initial five that I had in my mind when I proposed this idea to Issachar. And I mean, all fabulous singers. And I decided upon the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem for the venue, because they had a wonderful theater. It's called the Langston Hughes Theater, Langston Hughes Auditorium, excuse me. And I then set about looking for an orchestra, and the orchestra that I ultimately decided upon really, I guess, mirrored what I was accustomed to with my choir. And I'll explain in just a moment, but the orchestra is the New York Symphonic Arts Ensemble. And at the time, they were led by Timothy Hutto. And the orchestra is comprised largely of volunteers. And that was appealing to me, because the choir that I conduct at Ephesus is largely volunteers. My community choir is largely volunteers. Like all of the choirs that I direct are primarily volunteer-based, with some professional support. And this was the same situation for the orchestra. And the orchestra came to me by way of a colleague, David Browning. And I had told him that I was looking for a group that could play for this concert, and I told him why it was important to have this concert done with orchestra, and he suggested them. And so we went to the Schomburg, and we had Nice, as they are affectionately coined, to play, and we had these singers, and wonderful concert, great audience. I think I may even have a video clip of it still somewhere. It was really a fine concert and a really great start. And that's what Courtney Stars of Tomorrow basically is, and that's where it started. And it, I've over the past 5 years certainly increased the programming that we have. We've performed now over the past 5 years in a range of scenarios, some that I perhaps wouldn't have thought of, but we've done charitable events at Talbot's, the clothing store. We've done performances at the Freeport Memorial Library in Long Island. We've done a fabulous concert, completely sold out at Carnegie Hall. We've done Lincoln Center. So I mean, we're on the go, and it's been wonderful to see the response to the organization and response to the mission, that it's not just giving opportunity to young people, which is great, and that's a very important thing, but that, what I am looking to do is to include as many as I possibly can and bring them along for the journey, for the ride. And that includes all age groups, that includes all ethnicities. The wonderful thing about the performing ensembles that I have assembled for the various concerts is that in all of them, and I mean all of them, that we have had a cross section of ages, and from 20s to 90s, really quite literally 90s, and that our audiences also reflect that there is a multi-generational, multicultural audience that we target and that come to our concerts. And we did a little bit of an exit survey at our next to last concert, the one at Carnegie Hall. And I mean, you had every single ethnic type represented in the audience at a program that was absolutely fabulous. And they left so enthusiastic and so buoyed up. I mean, it was kind of like a family reunion where you didn't sort of know all of the family, but everybody's around talking and having a good time. I mean, it was that kind of energy. And I couldn't be more proud of that kind of representation in the work that we do. And we have not yet, however, done a full-length opera. That is in the plan for the 2020-2021 season, but we're sort of starting to get some traction, and things are growing, and looking forward to a fabulous season to come.